She thought my garage was her personal parking spot. One rainy night, she rolled her gleaming SUV inside without a word, blocking my car and my life. I stared at the locked door, keys dangling in my hand, rage boiling. Then I did the unthinkable. I chained the gate, set the alarm, and vanished for 2 weeks. When I returned, her screams echoed through the cul-de-sac, police lights flashing, neighbors filming. She'd lost everything over a slab of concrete. How far would you go to reclaim what's yours? I'm Alex, 34, single dad to a bouncy 8-year-old named Mia. Our 2-bedroom ranch on Cedar Hollow Circle was the first place that ever felt like home after the divorce. The cul-de-sac smelled of fresh-cut grass on Saturdays. Kids chalked hopscotch grids on the sidewalk, and I'd wave to neighbors while unloading groceries. We kept the lawn trimmed, the mailbox painted, the garage door spotless. Life was quiet, predictable, safe. Across the street lived Karen, HOA vice president and self-appointed parking czar. Her white SUV gleamed like a trophy, always angled perfectly across 2 visitor spots, to keep things orderly. She'd stroll the block with a clipboard, measuring grass height with a ruler, leaving neon violation stickers like confetti. Most of us rolled our eyes and paid the fines. I just wanted to grill burgers and help Mia with homework. Then one Friday, rain drumming the roof, I pulled up to find Karen's SUV parked inside my open garage inches from my sedan. No note, no knock, no warning. My stomach dropped. That slab of concrete was mine, paid for with every overtime shift. Something petty inside her had just crossed a line I never saw coming. That night, the garage door stayed open because the rain had shorted the sensor. I'd planned to fix it after Mia's bath, but when I stepped outside with a towel over my shoulder, Karen's SUV filled the space like it had grown roots. Headlights off, wipers still, engine ticking as it cooled. My sedan sat crooked in the driveway, one tire on the grass. I knocked on her door. No answer. Texted the HOA group chat. Anyone know whose white Escalade is in my garage? Karen replied with a single thumbs-up emoji. By morning, the vehicle hadn't moved. I left a polite note under the wiper. Please remove by 5 p.m. Need access for work. At 4:57, Karen marched over in neon sneakers, snatched the note, and crumpled it. Visitor parking is full, she announced. Your garage is closer to my house than the street. It's logical. I pointed to the faded yellow curb 20 feet away. That's visitor parking, she smirked. Overflow Protocol, Section 14B, look it up. Then she slid behind the wheel and reversed, scraped metal on concrete as the bumper kissed my workbench. She never looked back. The fines arrived 2 days later. $50 for unauthorized signage, my note. $75 for improper vehicle storage, my sedan in the driveway overnight. The envelopes smelled like her lavender stationery. I paid online, fingers shaking, telling myself it was cheaper than a tow. Mia watched me from the porch. Why is the angry lady mad at your car, Daddy? I didn't have an answer that wouldn't scare her. Karen's clipboard patrols doubled. She measured the distance from my trash bins to the curb, 2 inches short, $30 citation. She photographed Mia's chalk drawings on the sidewalk. Graffiti, another $25. Each yellow sticker peeled off with a rip that echoed in my chest. Neighbors whispered apologies but kept walking. Nobody wanted their own neon target. One dad slipped me a burner phone photo. Karen's SUV parked in my garage again, this time with a magnetic sign on the door. HOA official vehicle. Do not tow. I scheduled a hearing with the board. The community room smelled of burnt coffee and superiority. Karen stood at the podium in a blazer 2 sizes too big, projecting a PowerPoint titled Garage Equity Initiative. Slide 3 showed my open garage labeled Underutilized Asset. Slide 7 proposed a $200 monthly fee for any homeowner who hoarded garage space while guests circled the block. The vote was 4-1. Guess who cast the lone no? That night, I discovered the final insult. Karen had taped a new rule to my garage door. Effective immediately, all residential garages must remain accessible for emergency overflow parking. Refusal constitutes breach of covenant. No signature, no date, just her initials in purple ink. My blood pressure spiked so hard I saw spots. Mia's bike leaned against the wall where the SUV had been. One pedal bent from the bumper tap. Something inside me snapped. Not loud, just a clean, quiet break. I started researching. County code said private garages were exempt from HOA vehicle storage mandates. State law required 48-hour notice for any covenant change. Karen had broken both, but the board buried my appeal under table until next quarter. Meanwhile, the SUV returned every evening at 6:15, like a cuckoo clock made of entitlement. I'd come home to find my lawnmower shoved onto the driveway, gas cap missing, oil streaking the concrete. Karen left post-its. Please reorganize for guest convenience. Sleep became a rumor. I lay awake calculating towing fees, lawyer retainers, the cost of cameras. Every solution felt like surrender. Pay to reclaim my own property, beg for permission to use what I'd already bought. Then Mia asked if we could have her birthday in the garage like last year. The balloons won't fit around the big car, she said, lower lip trembling. That was the moment rage turned into resolve. I printed the statutes, highlighted the violations, and slid the packet under every door on the circle. Crickets. Nobody wanted Karen's crosshairs. So I went analog. At 2 a.m., I wheeled the SUV out myself, keys in the visor, because of course they were, and parked it nose first against her prized rose trellis. Roses flattened like red confetti. I left my own note. Emergency overflow located. Enjoy the petals. Then I chained my garage shut, padlocks clinking like wind chimes. Dawn brought sirens. Karen stood barefoot on my lawn, mascara rivers, screaming about vandalism and lawsuits. The tow truck driver scratched his head. Couldn't hook the SUV without ripping out her sprinkler system. Neighbors filmed on phones, popcorn forgotten. Karen slapped a $500 landscape sabotage fine on my windshield. I snapped a photo, smiled, and booked the vacation I'd canceled 3 years running. 2 weeks, Florida Keys, non-refundable. As Mia and I boarded the plane, my phone buzzed with board emails. Emergency vote to suspend my voting rights. Threats of lien. Promises of further action. I turned it off. 30,000 feet up, I finally exhaled. Whatever waited back home, the garage and the war, was officially on pause. But pauses end. And when I landed, the real storm was just clearing customs. 14 days of salt wind and Mia's laughter vanished the second the plane touched asphalt. My phone, powered on mid-taxi, detonated. 127 missed calls, 83 texts, 1 voicemail timestamped 3:14 a.m. that simply breathed Karen's name like a curse. The cul-de-sac had metastasized. Yellow police tape fluttered from my mailbox to Karen's crushed trellis. Her SUV sat on a flatbed, roses still clinging to the grill like war paint. A county sheriff's cruiser idled beside a news van. Local affiliate, bright logo, brighter lights. Neighbors formed a half-moon, phones raised, eyes wide. Karen stood center stage in leopard print pajamas, hair in pink rollers, shrieking into a bullhorn she must have ordered overnight. I stepped off the rideshare with Mia's hand in mine. The officer approached, citation pad ready. Sir, we've got complaints of abandonment, property damage, and unauthorized locking of communal space. Communal, my garage. I handed him the folder I'd printed in the airport. Statutes, photos, timestamps. He flipped pages, frown deepening. Karen spotted me. The bullhorn squealed. There's the criminal. He trapped my vehicle for 2 weeks. I missed my mother's surgery. A lie so thick the cameraman winced. She lunged, rollers bouncing, but the deputy blocked her. Ma'am, back up. Then the bombshell slid from my backpack, a certified letter from the state attorney general. Someone, anonymous, bless them, had forwarded Karen's garage equity slides. The AG's seal glowed under the newslights. Covenants can't override private property rights. Fines issued without due process are void. Board members face personal liability for harassment. Karen's face drained to the color of her crumpled roses. The officer read aloud. Each sentence landed like a gavel. Fines reversed. Liens dissolved. Karen ordered to pay towing, storage, and my legal fees, $4,300 by close of business or face arrest. The cameraman zoomed on her open mouth, soundless now. I knelt, unlocked the garage. Inside, my sedan, untouched, a single red pedal on the hood like a signature. Mia ran to her bike, pedal still bent but wheels spinning free. I looked straight at the lens. Private property isn't a suggestion. Karen dropped the bullhorn. It cracked on the concrete, final punctuation. But the echo that followed wasn't hers. Karen resigned that afternoon, blazer folded over her arm like a surrender flag. The board dissolved the garage equity rule before sunset. Every reversed fine hit my account by Monday, plus interest. The news clip looped on local stations for a week. HOA overreach ends in roses and regret. Views hit 2 million. Comments flooded with garage selfies and middle fingers. Cedar Hollow Circle breathed easier. Trash bins stayed 2 inches off, chalk art bloomed, and visitor spots rotated without a clipboard in sight. Mia's 9th birthday filled the garage with balloons and 0 SUVs. Neighbors finally waved without flinching. Karen's house sold in 30 days. Cash offer, sight unseen. The new owners painted the mailbox teal. She vanished to a condo with assigned parking and no covenants. I still keep the AG letter framed above the workbench next to Mia's straightened bike pedal. Proof that concrete can outlast entitlement. One line from the clip stuck. Your deed isn't a debate. I whisper it every time I hit the garage remote. The door hums open, empty. Mine. What's the one boundary you'd chain shut forever? Tell me below.